Cody Madison, your sister's pretty amazing.
We're all pretty amazing around here. Hi.
Hi.
I'm CJ. Welcome to Baywatch.
Thanks.
The ocean, the slow motion run, the red swim trunks, millions of people watched Baywatch every single week. And one of its biggest stars wasn't The Rock, wasn't Hasselhoff. It was Cody Madison, played by a rising heartthrob with sun-bleached hair and ocean blue eyes. His name was David Chokachi. And then he was gone. No scandals, no headlines, just gone. What happened to the man who once defined 90s cool? Welcome back to Then and Gone, where we tell the real stories of the stars who shaped your childhood and disappeared. If you were a 90s kid, hit that subscribe button because this is just one of many faces we're bringing back. By the early 1990s, Baywatch had become one of the most watched shows on the planet. A guilty pleasure? Maybe, but also a cultural phenomenon. The concept was simple: lifeguards, beaches, rescues, and drama. But its cast became legends. David Hasselhoff ruled the tower. Pamela Anderson stole the spotlight. And in season 6, a new face arrived: Cody Madison. Played by David Chokachi, Cody wasn't just eye candy. He was the new generation of Baywatch, athletic, emotional, and surprisingly grounded. Audiences loved him. He had posters on walls, features in Teen Beat and Tiger. In Germany, Australia, even Brazil, Cody was a name people remembered. But how did David Chokachi land such a massive role? David Chokachi was born on January 16, 1968, in Plymouth, Massachusetts. His real last name? Al Chokachi. His father was from Iraq, his mother of Finnish descent. A surprising heritage for someone Hollywood would cast as the ultimate California beach guy. He wasn't a Hollywood kid. He graduated from Bates College in Maine with a degree in political science. He even considered law school before the acting bug bit. He got his start not through acting school, but modeling. His look, his physique, his charisma, it made him a natural for TV. And when Baywatch was casting for a new, younger male lead to keep the show fresh, Chokachi walked in, and the producers said yes. He beat out dozens of other hopefuls. And just like that, Cody Madison was born. Before the bright lights and slow-motion beach runs, David Chokachi was just a small-town kid with a very different plan for his life. Born David Al Chokachi in Plymouth, Massachusetts, he was raised in a quiet New England town, far from the chaos of Hollywood. His father was an immigrant from Iraq, his mother of Finnish descent. It's a background that didn't exactly scream future Baywatch icon, but one that grounded David in discipline, humility, and ambition. Growing up, he wasn't obsessed with acting. He wasn't in drama club or chasing fame. He was focused on school, sports, and service. He later attended Bates College, a small liberal arts school in Maine, where he studied political science. By all accounts, he was smart, driven, and headed for a career in either law or environmental science. But something shifted after graduation. He spent time traveling and surfing, and slowly began entertaining a new idea. What if, instead of law school, he took a shot at acting? He moved to California, started doing modeling gigs to pay the bills, and eventually got his foot in the door of the entertainment industry. It wasn't a traditional path, no stage background, no family connections, just a look, a presence, and a willingness to go all in. From 1995 to 1999, Chokachi was one of Baywatch's anchors. He performed many of his own stunts. He built real chemistry with co-stars. And while others chased headlines, he focused on craft. He even had a solid character arc. Cody wasn't just a lifeguard. He was a recovering alcoholic, an athlete, a romantic lead. But Baywatch was a strange beast. On one hand, it made stars. On the other, it trapped them. The show was watched by 1 billion people worldwide, but often mocked in Hollywood. Cody became iconic to the public, but the industry wasn't so kind. Typecasting was inevitable. And when Chokachi left Baywatch in 1999, doors didn't open the way you'd expect. After Baywatch, David tried to pivot. He landed a main role in Witchblade, a dark, supernatural cop show on TNT. He played Detective Jake McCarty, and fans liked him. But the series was short-lived. Then came a string of TV movies, science fiction thrillers, made-for-cable dramas, disaster films with titles like Solar Attack and Rage of the Yeti. It wasn't that he wasn't working, he was. But not in the A-list circles, not in the mainstream spotlight, and Hollywood, it moved on quickly. David Chokachi never had a scandal, never got arrested, never had a meltdown, and that might be part of why the spotlight drifted away. Instead of chasing roles that weren't there, Chokachi focused on something else: living. He got married, had a daughter, worked in independent film, environmental causes, and physical training. He stayed active, running, surfing, competing in triathlons. He never tried to be something he wasn't. No desperate comebacks, no reality TV appearances, no Dancing with the Stars. And in a world where fading stars often spiral, David simply didn't. He stepped away from the spotlight, but not from the world. He just stopped being famous. David Chokachi's story is more common than people realize. For every Brad Pitt or Keanu Reeves, there were dozens of rising stars who didn't go the distance. Not because they lacked talent, but because Hollywood is brutal. The industry chews up novelty and moves on. And for TV actors of the 90s, there were only two paths: break into film or be forgotten. David didn't break into film. And so his name faded. But that doesn't mean he failed. He lived, he thrived, just outside the echo chamber of fame. After the cameras stopped rolling, David Chokachi didn't fade into nothingness. He found a new purpose, one that didn't require a script or spotlight. In 2025, Chokachi joined a rescue mission alongside the Sato Project and Wings of Rescue, two nonprofit organizations focused on saving abandoned animals in crisis areas. Together, they helped transport 110 dogs and cats from Puerto Rico to New Jersey, giving them a second chance at life after being rescued from deplorable conditions. David wasn't just a celebrity guest. He was on the ground, carrying cages, comforting scared animals, and doing the hard work. He later described it as one of the most heartbreaking and rewarding experiences of my life. This wasn't a publicity stunt, it was personal. Chokachi has long been passionate about animal welfare. Over the years, he's taken part in multiple charity events, spoken publicly about adoption, and continues to support environmental and rescue efforts. While other stars chase relevance, David Chokachi found meaning. Not on the red carpet, but in doing something that actually matters. So what happened to Cody from Baywatch? Nothing tragic, nothing scandalous, just time, the passage of fame, and a man who chose to keep living his life even when the cameras stopped rolling. Today, David Chokachi still acts here and there, still surfs, still smiles like he did in the 90s, but he's not chasing attention. He had his moment in the sun, literally and figuratively. And now? He's not a cautionary tale. He's just a story Hollywood forgot to finish telling. If you grew up watching Baywatch, or remember the posters, the slow-motion rescues, the Cody Madison era, then you know the power of 90s TV. But behind every icon is a real person, and sometimes the most fascinating stories are the quiet ones. This was David Chokachi, this was Cody, and this was another story from Then and Gone. Subscribe now for more untold stories of the 90s legends who disappeared from the spotlight, but not from our memories.